On this internet thing, like honestly,
I feel
ever
like you
since I
don't quite understand what get started means, but let me clarify for you just in case.
uh, I don't see the game.
Get
I don't see the
started.
game.
Get started means I'm gonna start recording,
All
and
right,
then
all right, man. I'll just start.
usually Carlos, usually you might have figured this out by now
All
because it's
right,
part 22.
okay.
But usually I start off with like, "Hey, welcome back to part 22, viewers. You get to see me on webcam because I had to. I'm not even done setting up, so they get the rare treat of seeing me and my beautiful bald fucking head because I had to have an argument with you. That's now definitely going in the video. So
Wow, so hostile.
it's 22 videos in, Carlos. You have to know how this works at this point. Like,
I'm
it'd be
not
more
sure I
impressive if you
do.
didn't know how it worked. All right, that's all you see from me today, viewers. Now I'm gonna set it up so you can see the game. I wasn't gonna have to vamp or talk over this part, but you were just like you're just like,
You
hi,
still don't.
my name
You
is
still don't need
Carlos.
to.
I don't understand how things work.
Mad hostile up in here. It's mad hostile for no reason.
I have to return hostile to you because otherwise you won't learn. Hey, welcome to part 22. Maybe the real start to this video, maybe not. Depends how I feel in the editing room. Now, Carlos, what's the worst thing about this internet project or problem that you just couldn't fucking wait to tell me?
Never mind. I thought I was making small talk while you were setting up everything. I don't think it's that relevant for the video. And now it's gonna make it look worse if you edit that shit back in.
We'll see. Depends on Nick's feeling in the editing room. I upgraded my graphics card. That's pretty cool. I went from a 1070 to a 4070
Jesus.
Ti. Yeah, I upgraded by a little bit. Does not affect this recording because this is a Switch. But here we go anyway. Hey, guess what?
Someone's gonna have their like eye right to the screen. Like I don't see any difference before you say that.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, there is no difference. I'm not emulating this. So the views are in. They're not good. they're not good. We didn't even get like the grace period. Like, oh, new series. Okay, well the first two parts will have like high. No, not even. At the time of recording, I don't think part 1 has cracked 100 views.
It doesn't even
Metabots
change.
part 3 has 200 views. So
The quality will come. The people will come as we get closer. They're not seeing the vision yet.
but yeah, so we're in the timeline now where I've started releasing a Breath of the Wild video every day until the release of Tears of the Kingdom. Now for Carlos and I, we've been recording these over the course of months, and we're on at part 22. I can tell you that we just released the first 3 videos, and they are not being met with. I was expecting praise. I was expecting just uproarious laughter and clapping and just excitement, and I got none of that.
I'm
Now,
like,
is it the game or is it Carlos? That's what we need to identify here. The problem is the people who it is Carlos won't tell me because they're not watching this video, so I can't figure it out.
I think it's like people aren't ready yet for Zelda Fever to kick in.
I do think that when we get closer, maybe like 2 weeks out, that's when we'll start seeing this. I also think there could just be people who are like, hey, I don't need to see the fucking Great Plateau. I get it.
Yeah, true.
Let me see the other shit, but we'll see.
Once you make that run, once you make your run to Ganon, I think that people will key in there, and then like, oh, let me keep going, see what they're doing here. Because I think we were cooking up something special in the later episodes. With that first one, we're taking our time, setting the landscape for what we will discuss, and they weren't ready for it yet.
I just don't think they're ready for us. But yeah, we'll see. I'm joking about it now, but I was honestly pretty distraught the first like 2 days. I was like, I made a plan to release 24 of these fucks, and they're doing this badly at the start. I was like, have I made a horrible mistake? Has this all been for nothing? And not only has it been a waste of time recording, has it been a waste of time editing? Has it been a waste of time like taking up spots in the schedule that other videos should take so that my channel doesn't like tank. And we'll find out. I'm more at peace with it now, but it's scary. It's some scary stuff. I felt like I had a really good handle on the YouTube channel, and I was like, oh, then they'll love this. And I was very shocked to find out that I was just wrong.
But also, like, there's also, so many people also probably doing this shit.
Yeah, but, Carlos, it's us.
I mean, who knows, man? I don't know.
Yeah, I think, what a bigger part of it is? That I'm like, I don't feel bad admitting this, because it's going to come off braggadocious, but it's going to end a little bit later. I'm typically pretty good at both reading people and situations, and just, in general, have pretty good foresight. 9 times out of 10, you can present me with someone will say like, hey, we're going to do this, and I can tell you right away how it's going to go, and be within like a marginable exception, marginally acceptable, like, results. Like I'll get close enough where we're like, yeah, he called it. So for me to whiff is very unnatural to me. It's not something I deal with very often. But it is what it is. I think it's also one of those things where I think this series might have legs later.
Yeah.
I think
it'll
be one of those things when someone joins the channel for like Digimon, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever, and then they like lurking through the playlist like, oh fuck, Breath of the Wild. I could be one of those. But we'll see. Yeah. Could be way off base. If not, I had fun recording with my friend, and the series is here, so.
True, as well as this will also be the recording of where ghosting was birthed.
Yes. What do you mean, Carlos? Because
true.
As we know, ghosting has been around for a long time. It's one of people's favorite series. So we did find out after we made that joke that they're releasing a movie called Ghosting. And it feels just a little bit bad timing.
That movie looks so bad.
Of course it does. When we explained Ghosting, it's designed to sound like a bad movie.
No,
and
but
but then someone did it seriously and without Adam Sandler. And that tells you that
I have no idea what's going on. I've only seen that one scene, and then everyone just saying like it looks like they're not at the same place, and like I just focused on that, and I was like, I'm not watching a movie where the 2 lead actors aren't in the same room.
We can talk about this because if this series proves to be unpopular, then it means we can kind of say whatever we want. There's a certain video game that came out last year that my name is in the credits of that normally I would just really try to avoid talking about. But one thing I do want to allude to we can leave it at that, is they didn't really go with a lot of big names for voice acting. Mm-hmm. Which isn't a bad thing, but by the way, like obviously I like big names, but also sometimes you're like, yeah, that's Steve Bloom. I'm not imagining. I don't see Wolverine right now. I just see Steve Bloom. Or if it's like Yuri Lowenthal for Spider-Man, or you hear Troy Baker, like sometimes you recognize the voice actor or something, and you're like, oh, well now I just see them as that voice actor.
Okay, you finish your story. I'm gonna have something funny as well with the voice actor bit.
Good. There's a dragon up there.
Did you already hit that shit? Sorry.
Yeah, but you gotta hit him multiple times because you keep getting more materials for him. But yeah, so they had one big voice actor though, and it was Simon Pegg. And I'm like, hell yeah, Simon Pegg's great. Super cool dude. He's an executive producer in a lot of the, like weird nerdy shit that we keep watching, like The Boys. Actually, I don't even know if he's an executive producer on The Boys. I know Seth Rogen is.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, Simon Pegg's great. He does a voice in this game, and I played through that game. I platinumed it, and he has an okay amount of lines, like so it's like more than a cameo, if that makes sense. But every time he was on screen, I was sort of like, he recorded this in a studio in a day, and without any other of the actors present. And I say this with I don't know this for a fact. This is not like I was there or like I know an inside source. Like I just from playing it, I was like, I think I can figure this part out. So and I remember hearing about like voice actors talk about that stuff before, where sometimes they'll be like recording by themselves and how like frustrating, how different that is and stuff like that. And I'm sure for some people it's like they don't care. Like if you're there to get a paycheck, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that Simon Pegger's there to get a paycheck, but like, but if you're just there, then you know, you may be like, oh, whatever, it doesn't really matter to you. But I'm sure that does matter to a lot of people, and it's very interesting to me because I don't think I could record that way. I don't think I could record like opposite lines. Like let's say this was all scripted, which is this, by the way. We spend all week writing the script, but it's just like, but like imagine if like you were reading off in response to my stuff and but without me in the room. That'd be so fucking weird.
Eddie Murphy did most of the Shrek movies. I think after the first one, he did all the Shrek movies from his house.
Yeah,
Not to say that there's like any equality or whatnot, but I do remember if you watch The Hobbit behind the scenes, the guy who plays Gandalf, Ian McKellen, gets really upset with Peter Jackson because he's like, I can't act. There's nothing here to act off of. I'm just talking to a giant green screen. Like, what am I supposed to? What emotions am I supposed to be feeling? I'm like, that seems really, really frustrating, especially if like physical thing is one thing, but I also feel like voice acting constantly doesn't get.
Voice acting is in a weird spot in general, where it seems to be like the little brother to regular acting. And I'm like,
yeah,
I understand that if you've never listened to voice acting. Like, if someone explained the two professions to you and you had not seen acting or heard voice acting, I could see you being like, yeah, that's just how it is. But, like, to hear some of the, like, you know, games, movies, show, like, anything, like, with voice acting, and to say that it's a lesser profession is insane to me. Like
Peter Dinklage in Destiny.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He just phoned it in. Like, that shows you, as, like, people say that it's like, oh, or you should look at that and see it as proof. Like, yeah, you can't just walk in off of the fucking set of like you know something else that was recording and be like, oh, I can just whip this out. No, it's a skill, and you know we have people who train their whole fucking lives to do it. That's why whenever they like replace like someone who's like an established voice actor for a character for like a Hollywood character, whenever they do like a movie or something like I think
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Well, John Raffio is an example too, where it's like for the Sonic movie, where I'm like, yeah, they got Ben Schwartz to do Sonic, and I'm like, that's fine. Ben Schwartz is fine. Sonic has a voice actor, so what are we doing here? Like, he's just going to be CGI'd the whole time? Why do you need Ben Schwartz? And also, further, is Ben Schwartz selling movies? Like, is this really like, is it even worthy of doing it? Because I don't think he's getting the star power you think he is. It's just stuff like that. It's so weird to me.
The hate for voice actors.
Yes.
That the industry seems to have of like not treating these people fairly or run the bill. Because like there is a point where I like Uncharted 4 so much because it's Nolan North and Troy Baker like acting their asses off on that shit. Of like in my mind I'm like that series of games would not be as good if you replace Nolan North Nathan Drake with anyone else, to the point where I'm like, I don't think it comes off, and I think I hate that game, mostly because when I play the other Uncharted game, like the one Uncharted game without Nathan Drake, I'm like, this.
What's the one without Nathan Drake?
The Lost Legacy, which it's good gameplay wise.
Is that the one with
Chloe? It's the women.
I didn't know that Nolan North didn't do Drake in that.
Oh no, he doesn't show up in at all.
Oh, okay.
But it was just like I felt like this game was kind of missing something. But again, probably because it's Uncharted. But
well, so I have a better example using that example, which is I tried to play when I had a Vita. I tried to play the Vita Uncharted, which does not have Nathan Drake.
Oh, they don't want to for that?
It has Nathan Drake voiced by someone else, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm so used to Drake. I'm sorry, I'm so used to Nolan North that like my brain can't just like accept this. It's like it knows something is wrong.
I get the idea of like, oh, we need to skimp costs, but I'm always just like,
that's such a weird place to go for it. Like,
yeah,
I do, for what it's worth, I do think that the kind of mentality around that is definitely changing.
I hope.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just don't think that, I think voice actors are treated a lot more, better in the video game industry and better in, like, well, sometimes in the anime dubbing industry, Crunchyroll. But, like,
Animation.
well, Funimation doesn't exist anymore, but yeah.
Oh yeah, true. I forgot. R.I.P.
But I feel like some of that stuff is changing, but not industry wide yet, if that makes sense. We'll see. But when it comes to like movies and stuff, like even going back to the Mario movie that like just happened, it's like, what if we got Jack Black as Bowser and we got Chris Pratt as Mario, and I'm like, why? For the kids? Like,
yeah, because I'm like, as a kid, I didn't know an actor.
Because do the kids care? That's what I'm like confused about.
Also, I still barely care when I see an actor in something. Not to say like I know it's a big thing of like, oh, did movie stars die? But also I'm just like, most of the time, if you're good at that shit, I'm gonna watch. And even if you're just passable, I'll still watch. Oh shit! You better climb. You better climb.
Yeah,
you better climb.
I'm getting caught. I didn't mean to fall down there anyway.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's how they get you to not just force your way through.
I don't think you can. The door closes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Of like, I remember when it happened, I was just like, "Oh fuck!" Now I can't just sprint through.
It is a very strange section because it's like the only time that you can't just like brute force your way through.
Hard stealth it.
Yeah, stealth it in a game that does not have very good stealth mechanics, might I add. Like they're passable for like encounters and stuff like that, but we're not fucking going Solid Snake here.
But remember when they recast
yes.
David Hayter in Metal Gear Solid 5 for Kiefer Sutherland, and then we're just like, yeah, and we'll also just not have him talk at all.
Yeah, they recast Snake, probably one of the most verbose characters in gaming. Like Snake talks a lot in Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, 4, Portable Ops, Acid 2, like Peace Walker. Like he's been in a lot of games, and like I've heard multiple things about this, and I don't know that we truly know the real story yet. I've heard that David Hayter was never the way that Kojima wanted him to sound. So Kojima had a chip on his shoulder about like him being the voice of Snake because he imagined Snake's voice to be something different. But like, dude, after how many games?
Yeah, you gotta
even you have to be like, no, I mean this is just the American version. And like, it's no secret that Kojima is like a huge movie buff.
One second, Juliana's giving me a call.
Okay.
All right, sorry.
All right, guys, it's just me going through the stealth section, a section where I probably need to focus on the gameplay. So I probably can't talk as much, but that's okay. Carlos doesn't realize that him leaving for these phone calls is why the views are so bad on this series. You may be thinking, Nick, you can't blame Carlos completely. I sure can, and I will. Because I can.
Sorry, something... the reason why I stopped it, because usually I would just send Juliana, but my mother had just called like 5 minutes before. I'm like, did something horrible happen? But my mother was checking on me because of the parking garage that happened in New York yesterday.
I didn't hear about that.
A parking garage just collapsed, but I was like, it was like in Manhattan. I was like, I wasn't there, don't worry. And then I think she just wanted to call to check up and see if like anything else had happened. And then Juliana called me. I was like, oh shit, did something happen again?
It's like, oh.
But she had just misplaced something. Wanted to make sure it was home.
It's fair. I don't know how to get on the rafters over here. I feel like it should just lead from here, but it doesn't.
Bum it.
I mean, I feel like that's the surefire way to get them to come after me.
Maybe they're dead.
But yeah, we were talking about David Hayter. David Hayter's a very talented voice actor.
Yeah.
Not even just as Snake. I've heard him in other roles. Like he did some stuff in the Old Republic, and he's good. He's very good. And it's weird that he was kind of like spurned by Kojima.
I think if you just if you literally just climb, oh yeah, fuck you, bitch. Oh, also, my one random something funny that happened was I saw Nolan North he's a random extra in a Modern Family episode. And I was like, Juliana, it's Nolan North, and she was just like, who's that? I was like, he's a big deal in video games, and she's like, okay. And I'm like, there are people who know him. I'm not alone.
Man, that dude's fucking sword slice is no joke. Also, it's worth noting that my buffs don't seem to work here. Like, it negates all my fairies and negates the blessings and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Even though this is not a real dungeon, I can't use those abilities. So they clearly are like, you're not passing this.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to talk about the text I sent you late last night?
It could be any. What text? My days and nights are blurring a little bit.
My text of giving up on Elden Ring.
Yes. I got a text from Carlos that said I'm giving up on Elden Ring, and then I think, what was it, like an hour later, 2 hours later, you're like, never mind, I beat the boss. Which I thought was very funny. So I was like, that's the FromSoft experience.
There's a hilarious Vine of some girl going like, I'm so done with him. He's the worst. And then like the next is a jump cut with her in the car with him smiling. And I was just like, that's what I feel like right now. Because it's literally what had happened was
classic Carlos line.
I was in the Academy dungeon.
Yeah.
And I made it to the boss, like the final boss fight. I was getting like at a certain point I just stopped making any progress in the fight. So like I'd get her into phase 2 and then I'd get like halfway through and then I'd just die, and I was just like, and I'd use all my healing items and everything. I was like, I'm not equipped for this. I don't have the facilities for this. I gotta go somewhere else. So then I went and I found a dungeon because I was like, or like a small catacomb or some nonsense, to like, I'll just kill everything in here, kill that small boss, use those runes to then like fund everything. And then I was getting my ass whooped in there, and I was like, all right, you motherfuckers, I ain't going out like no bitch. I had then realized that I was like, oh shit, why don't I just get some runes, fucking level my summons up, and then I'll just like fucking just run through this shit. Because somehow I had cheated the game and gotten an ash by beating a boss that I don't remember beating. That the Wikipedia was just, because I googled it the other day. I'm like, how the hell did I get this thing? That the game Wikipedia is like, this should only be completed by like guys who are level something, and I'm like, I am nowhere near that level. How did I get this fucking summon? So yeah, I had to do that shit. So I'm pretty much just cheesing my way through this game. And then I got to these creepy things that look like spiders. They're giant hands, and I'm like, I'm low-key about to put the game back down because I'm like, I can't do this, man. It's just like, it's so creepy, man. Why do we need spiders in games?
Similar to what I was just talking about earlier, there was a game that I know of that had a lot of spider enemies that they finally just released in their arachnophobia mode. And I find that stuff very interesting. Because, like, I'm not, like, concerned enough about spiders to
need the arachnophobia mode?
Yeah. Spiders are creepy and stuff like that, but in the game, I don't care. Like, jump scares of spiders still get me, but I don't, like, I'm not like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, it's whatever.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, you know my arachnophobia is pretty bad.
I do, and I've exploited it several times.
I saw that you're coming.
I mean, I'm just kind of giving up because I'm this is what's also weird about this is like they don't really have like a retry here. I remember this part sucking. I don't remember it sucking this bad. Like, I keep trying to game the system, the literal heart and soul of this fucking game. Doing things like not the way you're supposed to do them and stuff like that. The entire draw. I keep trying to do that, and instead the game is like, no, play it this way. I'm like, why do you take like random stands where you're like, no, play it correctly? How dare you?
Your game suddenly becomes that guy who starts calling women hoes who don't let him have sex at the most random times.
It's not a 1-to-1, but I won't say it's completely inaccurate.
Oh yeah, also PS Plus like released like a shit ton of games that I looked at.
They do that mid-month.
I know, but like usually most of the time there's
cool
like
game.
one
cool.
There's like one game that I'm like, oh, that actually looks really cool and interesting. I think if you climb that.
But this one has like a bunch of gas. A bunch that you're like, okay.
There's a bunch of shit that I'm like, oh fuck, like, because I've been meaning to get to a Plague's Tale after Elden Ring, but I'm like the progress I'm
Plague
playing.
Tale was free on PS Plus at some point, like the
Oh,
actual PS Plus.
yeah, a long ass time ago, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna get to it soon. And then PS Plus was like, wait, Carlos, April, we're fucking your shit up. We're putting Kino, which I've been waiting for because I was like, oh, that looks like a fun little platformer. That's just gonna be a nice little
I have
afternoon.
also specifically not bought Kina because I was like, there's no way this doesn't go on PS Plus.
As well as the reviews weren't strong enough for me to be like, oh, I need to be a day one supporter. But I was just like, you know what? I'll check it out. Um, and then what else? They put The Evil Within, which is a game I've always been like interested about.
Yeah, I think I own Evil Within finally. I was on the fence about it for a while, but I finally ended up just buying it. I don't think I've played it yet.
And then they put Doom Eternal on there.
Good lord, dude.
How the fuck did he see you?
This sucks.
Yeah.
I'm not having a good time.
Oh,
Just because, like, there's just, I just hate that there's just nothing you can do. It would even be more bearable if you could throw items. But, like, the way that you have to, like, use the distraction
Oh, yeah,
of
you
the
have to hold
bananas
it.
is you have to hold them in your hands and drop them at your feet. Like, if I could give them a light toss, like most stealth games have.
I mean, what I guess you could do is try to shoot an arrow.
But I don't think they're going to, like, I think they're going to resist it.
Try it. Oh, I didn't mean shoot him in the head.
Like, to distract them, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh,
My
wait a
bad.
minute. I did forget, though. There are stealth strikes in this game. I wonder if that works. Let me see.
Let's go full Splinter Cell.
Well, if that's an option, I just kind of assume it's not an option.
Shit, did I spill something on my robe?
Are you wearing a bathrobe right now?
Yeah, I wear. It's kind of chilly in my apartment. I toss this bitch on all the time, especially now that I'm unemployed.
So I take it the interviews have not been going well?
Nah, the issue is, so the one job that I really want has emailed me last week. They were like, Carlos, give us some time to like bring you back in. Gave them a bunch of times. Those days went by. They did not contact me.
Shit.
Oh my god, I thought that was gonna work.
I like how I could tell that you were invested because you went completely dead silent, like they could hear you over the microphone.
I literally was just like, oh wait, let me not like say something, and he hits the controller. But oh fuck, what about the interviews? So yeah, they keep emailing me like, Carlos, like give us some time. Time goes by, and then they're like, oh Carlos, sorry about that. Really, like this person's really busy. Can like you give us more time? And so I keep giving them time to the point where today they were supposed to, it was the last day that they asked for my availability, and I emailed them again like, hey, I'm still really interested in this job. Could you please, like, I'm free all week, bitch. I ain't got shit going on for me. Please just contact me. And as this goes, yeah.
That works on some. It's not going to work on the one by the door, but it gives me more freedom to kind of move him out of the way if I don't have to worry about the other ones.
Oh yeah, and then you can drop the bananas.
The little walk they do.
I also think you should knock that one out just so that way you can always come back if you need to.
I could. Wow, they pocket it super fast too.
Yeah.
The real I'm gonna say the real distraction is the walk. Okay, well, I wish he told me that. I wish he told me that before he.
No, if you go back, yeah, there's. Oh. You gonna pocket that shit mad quick.
Is. Or just not even see it. This game.
Wait, shoot the wall next to him if you can.
I was gonna hit the fucking ledge in front of me. Hold on.
Oh, he's deaf. Never mind. I'm sorry. Can you throw a bomb?
I mean, that feels like a really stupid idea.
Hey, at this point, we're just trying shit.
Yeah, man, of course. This is the way to go. I have a better idea.
You're just talking mad shit.
No, I meant he went towards me when I got up to, like, run. He didn't go towards the bomb.
I guess he just checked, like, where it came from.
No, I think he literally heard me, like, sprinting around there while I was getting ready to throw it. However, I did have a realization.
But
Camera, please don't do this to me.
nah, fuck them up, camera, fuck them up.
What are you saying? You keep starting thoughts and then not finishing them. You're gonna be
Honestly,
you're gonna drive people crazy today.
So I'm just really like keep emailing these people to give me a fucking goddamn job, and so it's just irksome because, and then I'm waiting on another place to like, hey, do I need to come in for another round? Who, they're also rescheduling me a bunch, and I'm like, what are y'all trying to do? Just give me a yes or a no, because at this point, like I'm still applying to jobs and shit, but like. Let's just say it's kind of dwindled in terms of like opportunities out there because I've already applied to places,
Right.
and now I'm starting to get worried of like, oh fuck, I probably should have taken that job with that asshole and just waited it out until I found a better job.
Surely,
but then,
when you say that asshole, you don't mean the journalism or failed journalism guy.
I did.
You did really mean that?
Yeah, I was just like, you know what, just
no.
I know.
The quality of life would be abysmal.
This is true. As well, I like my other worry here is like as this continues to go on, the biggest threat right now is
I already know where this is going.
What do you think? What do you think?
The biggest threat is Juliana.
No, not that. That's not the biggest threat. I'm like, all right. So City in the semifinal of the Champions League, and I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
onboarding during like I can't. I just started a job. I can't just blow like, hey y'all, give me 2 hours, I'll be back. Like, no, you can't do that first week.
I don't know that you can do it in any window that you'd be hired at this point.
Yeah, exactly. That's like.
Yeah, that's the worst part about this process.
Usually, I get like when I've changed my jobs in the past, I've usually changed them in the fall or in the winter, so that way I'm like, cool. No important soccer game is happening right now. You better move that camera fucking up. You better give yourself a Metal Gear Solid view of looking up and above.
I wish I could.
All right, you got him. You got him right here. Skidads. Give him the skidads. Oh, no, he turned it on that bitch.
I almost hit the wrong button. I did hit the wrong button. It just didn't do anything.
Imagine if that shit got hung up on the wall. I think you're good. Oh, are you trying to get to that one over there?
You son of a bitch. I can't even save. Stupid pricks. These stupid assholes.
You better be careful with what you running.
I'm not going to be careful, because this is taking too long already.
No, this is good content. We're having a conversation.
I don't think it is good content, based on the views.
Hey, we're still... That's early, man. Don't buy into it.
We're not canceled yet. But like, it's more of the situation of like, well, they didn't cancel them because they already filmed the first 22 out of 24 episodes. So they just finished it. They didn't really argue Fox for more.
Odd question.
Odd answer.
Did you ever watch Broad City? Also, if you just climb that regularly, don't do the jump. Just climb. Oh, okay.
So I'm trying, but it blocks me at the top.
That's stupid. Link can't just like reach his hand over.
I don't know why he can't climb this, to be honest. It feels very strange. It feels like he should be able to.
Yeah, I feel like of all things, that one clearly looks like it has the fucking handholds.
It's one of those situations where, like, if I can climb here, why the fuck can't I just go to the top?
Because racism in America.
Oh, hang on. It did teach me something. Oh my god, wait. That guy is different or came back? Are they respawning? Because that would be the meanest thing they could do. No, I think I just missed him. Or he's stoic. Boy, I hope you're stoic.
Eat a dick!
Okay.
Alright.
So there has to be something I can do here.
But,
I saw that, but I don't know if that'll be close enough to him. Because as we saw, they have no, like, peripheral vision. Yeah. What if I do the palm strat?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Blow it up. Damage him. I can't believe that worked.
I think he got rid of it. For fuck's sake. Yeah, I don't know what I expected.
Oh yeah, and you guys do the little mini boss fight over here.
Yeah, I don't really remember how it goes. Also, I don't know what to do from here.
I feel like it's got to do a lot of fucking arrows and shit.
I don't remember it lasting that long last time I did it. Where's the exit out of here? I think I'm a crazy person.
At least the music's great, you know? I feel like you gotta climb up. I remember
music.
going up.
I wonder if this will tell me. Anything interesting? Oh, well, okay. Not what I wanted, but I'll take it. If you're offering. Yeah, they do have a lot of gems. Okay, can you... Thank you. Like, what do you want me to do? Oh, boy.
What else has happened since we've last recorded? When did we last? Oh, my friend got sick and her dog. My friend and her fucking dog, man.
What about them? Ooh, this is sneaky.
So...
I would have known that.
I have a good friend of mine who she's always there for me. I'm always there for her.
It's a great start.
She hit me up so I've watched her dog in the past, and I, like, to her face, she does not know that I dislike her dog.
Why have you not told her that you dislike her dog?
Because it's like telling someone you don't like their kid.
That's fine. Tell someone their kid has bad vibes. That's fine.
Nah, because, like, the dog is fine once the dog is, like, has peed before they've come into your home. But the dog is not potty trained. I'm always just like, and usually I only interact with the dog at her place where the dog does not pee in her place, or at a dog park. So I'm just like, oh, I'm not having to deal with, like, the worst parts. I just get to, like, play with the cute puppy and then, like, all right, cool, off to your mother. The issue is that when sometimes she's like, oh, can you watch my dog? I'm like, I really don't want to, but, like, you're my friend, so I'm gonna do it. And then, like, I usually am able to stop the dog from peeing in the house. Like, I take it enough walks, but her dog sucks. Just unequivocally sucks. I'm glad that I'm putting this on video.
I was gonna say, you sure you want to keep going with this? Last out.
Like, I love the dog because at the end of the day, like, it's just a dog. Like, it's a fun dog to, like, play with. I just don't like to watch the dog because I'm like, this is a lot of responsibility. This thing is way too old to not be fully potty trained and shit. So it's just, like, more irksome.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this.
Yeah, I feel like you were supposed to hit that shit back, but then I'm like, nah, that doesn't. Oh, that's what you gotta shoot him in the head and that thing falls on him.
Ah, you're right.
I'm a real gamer, dog.
Real gamer for real games?
Yeah.
He is bulky.
Also, his strategy, not great.
Just so it lets me keep doing this.
Yeah.
I did remember him changing and going in the middle of there. I remember it not taking very long after I got this part for some reason.
I remember my biggest issue was I had entered the dungeon with, like, 5 arrows and being like, shit, man, I guess I gotta make this shit fucking work.
Okay, he does give you some time. But yeah, I see. I thought it would lead a little bit further.
But yeah, dog not great. And so she had hit me up last week to like, hey, can you take me to the doctor's? And then I saw her and I was like, oh yeah, dog, like, because the doctor also was like, if you puke again, because she was dealing with food poisoning, you need to go to the hospital. So I'm like, I can't just leave. She lives alone, so I'm like, I can't just leave you by your apartment in case you do puke, and then you have to call 911. I can just take you to the hospital. I ain't got no job. I got all the free time in the world. So let me just watch your dog. I'll have my dog, and they'll just play together, and I won't have to do that much. Next. One, my apartment was a mess, so I had to, like, as soon as, like, she got into my apartment, I was like, just go, like, lie down. I'm gonna clean and just get everything situated. So I'm cleaning the bathroom. I come out of the bathroom to check on her, make sure she's okay, and her dog has shat in the middle of my living room. And I was just like, oh my god, man. And then I'm like, you know what? It's just the one time. I should have known that. Take the dog out. Take care of shit. Next day, because she had to stay overnight because it was not looking good for her. Her dog just decides to pee in the middle of my living room now, and I'm like, this is disrespect. This is disrespect. So whatever. As the week goes on, she also, because her car's fucked up, she's like, hey Carlos, can you just like pick me up from work? And I'm like, yeah, no worries, because again, I ain't got no job, I ain't got no shit. So I pick her up from work, and she's like, oh, I also need to pick up my dog who's at daycare, and I'm like, no worries. Gets to daycare. As soon as the dog gets in my car, Nick. As soon as that dog gets in my car, guess what happened?
It just pissed or shit or vomited.
It pissed all over the backseat of my car. And my poor friend was like, well, I'll go get some. My good friend did clean up everything. She was very like regret. Like that's the thing. She's not being an asshole about it. Of like, yeah, dog, fuck you. This is just the price of doing business. She's like, oh no, I really need to fix this. But I'm also like, girl, you are very sick. Today is not the day for you to focus on like getting your dog to behave. But also I'm like really annoyed because I'm like, I need this fucking dog to behave. Man, oh man, being a single dog pet parent, I don't understand people who do that shit. That shit is more stressful than actually raising a child.
He said, having not raised a child.
Nah, because at a certain...
Sorry, I wasn't really paying attention to you. There was a... I killed a boss, and there was a thing that we were doing after we killed the boss. So just kind of like watching it. So, but that's cool. I guess we can keep talking about how you don't like your friend's dog. That's definitely riveting.
I mean, I feel like... Alright.
Just messing
I thought this video. Oh, I thought this video was the would do big with the dog hater crowd. You know.
Yeah, that's the crowd I want to cultivate. Fucking dog haters.
Hey man, views are views.
What a great litmus test for if someone's an asshole.
No,
that's not true. You can not like animals and still not be an asshole. I for one don't like most animals, but I am an asshole. So take that how you will.
I mean, hey, now that people are shooting other people for pulling into their driveways by accident, I feel like the asshole scale has gotten to such a point where very few people are actually now going to be able to consider an asshole.
Yeah, they do keep raising the bar, singular. It's just one of those things where it's like, can we just have like, I don't ask for a lot. You know what I want to ask for? Can we have like a cohesive, functional society? That's what I want. I just want something where people don't have to get fucking murdered for dumb shit like every fucking week.
I'm just on a baseline of like, so what? Someone like, literally, people get lost all the time unless they're knocking on your door and trying to force entry. What are you doing, dog? And why even just start like letting that thing fly? Because at a certain point, I'm like, if like we can't get rid of the gun, like we can pass new laws of like you can't buy new guns, but I'm like we still don't have to deal with the people who currently have the guns and are already like off the deep end, you know? Like that's my biggest fear at this point in life is like, oh yeah, we can't get those people to give up their things by will because they're just gonna shoot everybody.
Yeah, but they'll die eventually, probably sooner than later.
Yeah, but then they're just going to cultivate kids who are also like, oh yeah, I should just harm other people.
Yeah, but that's already happening, so...
Yeah, I guess...
It's not really a net loss.
Maybe we just got to get rid of... You got to start from the bottom, you know?
I've said this before, where I don't think we should have guns in America. I don't think that's a somewhat radical position, but not really. It's just I don't think we need them. But... because I'm a normal human being who understands how things work, I understand some people very much like their guns. So instead, I would say, hey, what if just handguns? Like, let's make a compromise. But, like, the whole point of the NRA and just, like, all gun arguments has been, even since Columbine, has been, if you make it so much as, like, a modicum more difficult to buy guns, you're infringing on my basic right that those people wrote 200 years ago when we had muskets and slaves. And just like the flimsiest of flimsy arguments, but wow, does it work?
We just gotta like, the motherfuckers is wilding. But also, I'm like, they got guns. So if we really about to like get at them, like they do got guns.
I don't know, man. It's just one of those things I just don't. It's just a lot.
Wait, what was the story of why Link had to dress up as a woman to get to that place?
That's women only.
Okay.
Gerudo are only women. Male Gerudo usually become the main villain of your series, so they try not to have them.
True.
Have you seen the way
Ganondorf art? Yeah, I saw that art. It looks cool.
Daddy Ganondorf. He just looks exactly like he always has, but just now he has no shirt.
I'm just like at a certain point, I kind of just want them to like develop his character a lot more.
I mean, maybe this one, right?
True.
I wouldn't say it's their strength though, because the whole point of this game is that is that Ganondorf is just this ambiguous force. He's not like he doesn't have motivations or character development. It's just like it's quite literally the whole point of the game. He's a calamity. Like,
it was the pandemic before the pandemic.
Yeah, really. You can't like fighting him is very difficult, but it's also like it's not like he led the game through his villainy. So I'd be curious if they can actually make him an interesting villain. I know he's voiced by Matt Mercer. It's pretty cool.
I would love to see a list of like gaming's worst villains, of like people who are in a lot of games but just have no like Robotnik. Like, who really is going up for Robotnik?
I think they play on it in Crash 4. The most recent one that just came out. Cortex is the villain, and then halfway through the game he gets betrayed by other better villains. So instead, I think it's Starfell over there. So he joins you, and he's like a playable character. Because it's basically just like, he's been so woefully inept that it's like, fuck it. Just play for the other team. Which is also how you find out if you're gay.
Oh.
Yeah. No. I, as a straight white man, I could say this. To find out if you're gay, assuming that you haven't consulted one of the gay elders and had them decide for you.
You haven't gone to the council.
You have to meet before the council and just like say, I don't think I am, and then they'll go, honey, those shoes. This is wildly offensive. But yeah, you once you strike out enough with the sex that you're courting enough, eventually they're like, hey, this may not be for you, and you may have to try switching for a different team. That, or you get a letter in the mail when you're 23, and in that letter, just let's see how long this can go on.
This joke isn't applicable in Florida.
Right, of course. Different rules there.
Oh yeah. How's Amy's kneecaps doing?
She's already fully recovered because she's an insane person.
I mean, yeah, I feel
like
once you ran 26 miles, you're probably going to recoup
26.2.
crazy like Wolverine. Oh yeah.
And then there was a mile before the marathon started that she walked because of like organization and stuff, and then 2 miles back to her apartment. So it was a lot. She walked very far.
Oh yeah. Also, we gotta give a shout out to ENIAC.
Why?
Because he got me addicted to Superior Spider-Man.
That's true. I have thanked ENIAC in the past because I also read through the Superior Spider-Man line. It's funny that it's taking you this so long. It took me like an afternoon.
Oh, it's mostly because I'm spreading them out.
Sure.
I don't want to like. Literally, I've been like, I'm really waiting for Juliana to want to watch some nonsense that I have no interest in.
So real quick, before we get too far away from it, everyone in the comments, be sure to say congratulations to my lovely girlfriend who ran the Boston Marathon. And crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. Trained for months, ran it successfully, and she's already recovered because she's a badass.
Is she gonna do it again?
Somehow I tricked her into going out with me. I said to Carlos, I must be really funny for this to have happened. Oh, hey. Thanks, IU Dust 7-Eyed Gaming. This is not live, but my alerts are still on. So occasionally when people sub during a video, it
He
gets in
just
the video.
watched that first video, so I hope you know.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, these guys are cooking it.
He's finally made it. But yeah, so that was really cool of her. And also a big thank you to ENIAC for showing Carlos and I Superior Spider-Man. For those that don't know Superior Spider-Man, there was a small run in the comics where, due to comic fuckery, Doc Ock, who was in like a dying body, transferred his consciousness to Peter Parker and basically overrode him. And then Peter Parker was switched into his old body, which then dies. So it's just Doc Ock in Spider-Man's body, and no one knows he did it. And because of the way that he died and like the way it like meshed and stuff like that, Peter Parker basically says like, you have to be Spider-Man now. And because like enough of their like personalities kind of mix and match and stuff like that, he basically just goes, I you're right, I do. And he has to, or he decides to do it better than Spider-Man, quote unquote. Hence the moniker Superior Spider-Man, because he truly believes he's like Peter Parker but better. So he gets the like weird warped, like he's still Doc Ock like personality wise, and just insufferable wise, but he is for all intents a Spider-Man, and he does want to protect people, which I thought was a super cool concept and executed very well. But yeah, like one of the first things he realizes when he fights is like, holy shit, Parker's been holding back this whole time, like specifically not to kill me. He's like, oh my god. Like,
I do love that, like it goes at a pretty fast clip, but also so the things that I'll say this, I'm on issue like 22, so we're kind of building towards the climax of the end.
How many are there again? Like 90?
33.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like we're building towards this climax. The really cool part is like seeing Doc Ock go crazy Spider-Man and just like kind of
it's
like,
a little bit like Spider-Man if he had no morals.
Not only Spider-Man if he had no morals, but Spider-Man if he was just like, fuck it, we're gonna do this any means necessary ass style.
If his goal was like, I'm gonna stop all crime, and not only that, I'm gonna stop it from happening in the future.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing some thought crime. And then the other part that I dislike is with every single fucking Marvel thing is always, you gotta read this team up, and I'm like, I don't want to read that team up.
So I didn't really read the team up stuff. I read like maybe like one or two of them, but for the most part, I just read his stuff and like kind of absorbed the rest from osmosis.
Yeah, like you at least still can pick up of like, oh well, that's what happened over there, but like the fun part of the Marvel universe is, again, it's a universe, so it's like, oh, this thing is happening because someone is not there to specifically stop it. But then the other annoying part is, oh, now the character that I'm actually following is now going to go interact with fucking Wolverine and Captain America. And unless I go and read that comic, I'm probably going to be wondering what the fuck were they doing.
I mostly just didn't care. I was just sort of like, I don't really know I don't really need to know what's going on with them.
Unless I can find it on one Google search, or it was, then I'm like, all right. But yeah, I'm hoping in June, Insomniac drops that Spider-Man 2 trailer.
It's supposed to be for later this year, right?
Allegedly fall 2023.
I'll give Insomniac a ton of credit, and it seems like they've done this since the first Spider-Man game. They do not, like, they have announcement and then they have like actual trailer, very short. Like the trailer is far away from the announcement, but then the trailer is pretty close to release.
I think
so. Like, I don't think they're not like hyping you up for years for Spider-Man. They gave one teaser.
I do also think like they had enough. Like, they did enough good with that first Spider-Man, where maybe... Because also, the thing I remember when they announced Spider-Man was Arkham Knight starts that press conference, and then Spider-Man happens. I'm like, whoa, what a crazy time for comics. And then Arkham Knight does not come out forever. And then Spider-Man also being like, okay, we only just saw the trailer, and then we didn't see gameplay for the first Spider-Man for like at least 2 years.
I do remember it being like, that's what I mean. Like, there was a super long lead from the first Spider-Man.
And then we didn't even see a trailer for into the Ratchet and Clank game for the PS5 until literally they were like, yeah, PS5 is coming out this November. Ratchet and Clank.
By the way, this exists.
Yeah, and also Spider-Man Miles Morales.
It's pretty good. I really hope they continue the Ratchet and Clank series. I think honestly, for the people who are like, I want more like Jak and Daxter Sly, they should just roll them in together with Ratchet at this point. Because I don't think those 3 series are selling individually. I think Ratchet can prop itself up barely, and I love Ratchet and Clank, but I'm realistic about this. So I think if you combine the 3 of them and just make it like a Ratchet and Clank game that has Sly or Jak and Daxter in it, it probably goes a lot better than just like trying 3 separate games. Unless you do a full remake, because I think that could refresh people.
I mean, they did.
No, not of Ratchet and Clank. And also, that was a bad remake. That remake existed to sell that movie, which then sold horribly.
Yeah.
I think the remake's fine. It plays fine.
Yeah.
But it's not good. I don't think
it was.
The story's acceptable, but I'm also like, I know all of these characters. I know their original motivation and stuff, and I'm sort of just like, I feel like we're just.
It kept me occupied that
just
first week. I got dumped via letter.
That's fine.
That's my literal fucking memory.
But yeah, I just remember thinking that, I was like, it's fine, and it's, this is the first Ratchet Clank we've gotten since like Into the Nexus. But I'm also like, did we need it? I don't know.
Yeah, there's I get it. Like, oh, we got to get people back into the series, but also I'm like, did you not in like a did you like you shouldn't, but also I'm like, I honestly like the newest one, which I don't know why I'm blanking on the fucking name right now.
Rift Apart?
Yeah, Rift Apart. That's the fucking name. I enjoy that they introduce other characters. That I was just like, oh, I would enjoy if you give me that
more
as
of
the
this.
next,
yeah,
yeah. Give me that as the next thing. We can leave Ratchet and Clank here, and then
hold on. Yes, but
no, but more of like if you were trying to get new people onto this. Cool. Give me a similar type of game.
I feel like Rift Apart really opened or really closed in a way that like leaves plenty of future opportunities for Ratchet and Clank games, and also introduced more characters and stuff like that. So it gave them a lot of wiggle room. But it's just a matter of like, do they actually, do anything with that? Like that, they honestly, the way they opened it, they could merge the other characters and stuff, and they're just like, Dimension. Yeah, there you go.
There's a threat amongst all the dimensions. Jak, we need you to jump on some platforms.
and shoot a gun.
Yeah.
Daxter, we need you to... But here's what I want. I want 2 things. I want a level with Jak playing with like mostly Ratchet and Clank gameplay, but maybe he like moves differently, if that makes sense. With Clank on his back. I want that that kind of team up, and then I want obviously Ratchet and Daxter, because I think that would also be funny. But then I want to take it in a different way. I want a level of Clank and Daxter solving the smaller like puzzle stuff together.
Oh yeah.
And then I want Jak and Ratchet bonding over how many times they've saved the universe or world and trauma dumping on each other.
I also think you could even write Sly in there as like, we need you to get into that place.
Carlos, it writes itself. Have Sly come into a place and then use Rivet, the girl Lombax, and just have her go like, oh my, and then Sly just not acknowledging any of it. It's just
you can even bring in Bentley.
Sly!
Be the man in the chair.
I mean, you can't bring Sly and not bring at least Bentley and Murray, right? Yeah. At least a cameo.
I just like we've said this multiple times, especially in this series. But I'm like
the fact that they just leave those series on the table.
Not only that, but I'm like 3D platformers just look really fun on a console, and I have the PS5 to make.
Here's the weird thing: is like I've tried a couple other 3D platformers since then, but like they were really the top of their game.
Yeah,
it's not an easy thing to make, and I feel it feels weird. Because I'm like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was great. And then it's like, oh man, we need more 3D platforms. But it's like, yeah, but more like this, though.
Yeah.
Don't just like try and make your own IP and like do what you think is going to work.
I mean...
I'm looking at you, Ukulele. Like,
Oh, well, ukulele is also, I think.
Ukulele didn't try to make a good 3D platformer. Ukulele tried to make another Banjo-Kazooie with seemingly a limited grasp on what made Banjo-Kazooie good in the first place.
My nuclear take, and I know that this might be disrespectful in some circles.
I'm excited for this. It's going to be bad.
Well, I've never I've never been a big Mario fan, and my thing is like, if we were really honest, it's nostalgia for a bunch of y'all playing that Super Mario 64 and those type of game, like, and Banjo-Kazooie and stuff. Of like, you remember this being fun as a kid, but I'm like, I legitimately think, and again, this might be extremely nuclear take, where I'm like, I think Sly Cooper, Ratchet, the original Ratchet and Clank, and Going Commando, which I think, in my mind, I feel like are much more platform focused, as the series went and did more shooter stuff.
My only disagreement here would be that I think Going Commando and Up Your Arsenal are equal levels of plot. Like, I think I think Going Commando is where that stuff started, the gun stuff. Like, the focus on more shooting, but still retaining platforming. It started with 2.
And then I also think, like, I think Jak 2 and Jak 3, I think the PlayStation platformers are better than any of those N64 platformers. But again, this might be my own bias of like, I grew up with those, but I also grew up with Banjo-Kazooie.
This is one of those situations where those PlayStation platformers, specifically the PS2 era, the golden era, would not exist without the Banjo-Kazooie and the Mario 64 before it. I don't know where I'm supposed to fucking put my Sheikah slate. Like, I started down here. I don't know where to go from here.
You're right. Like, we wouldn't have those without those, but my beef is mostly people keep trying to go back to like, oh, we'll give you another Super Mario 64 or another Banjo-Kazooie, and I'm like, this is you got to follow the progression, man.
I don't think that saying Mario 64. I'll go further. Mario 64 is not a great game. Going back to it, it's like, it was great for its time, fantastic, broke barriers. I think it's probably one of the least replayable games I've ever played. Like, that game is aged, and it has not been graceful to it. And I think
Wait, are you not putting your... Oh, sorry.
I tried to put it over there already when it didn't take. I think that if you tried to get a new person today, if you tried to get them, like, let's say a Gen Z person, if you gave them Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, Banjo-Kazooie, and Mario 64, they are not picking Mario 64.
I can see that.
It's just because it has the platforming, but it lacks the character that those other games have. I'd honestly think they'd pick Banjo-Kazooie over it, which I also think has aged a little bit questionably. Specifically Banjo-Tooie, the sequel, because they just threw like every game mechanic they could think of in that game, and it did not pay off. Whereas Banjo-Kazooie, I think, is still pretty tight, except it suffers from level design problems of, like, the later levels are much less fun than the early levels, which is, you know, not ideal. Where the fuck am I going? I don't know how to activate this.
I remember getting a lot of this fucking temple done before I, like, realized, like, oh, I was supposed to do this way.
If only I had a guy in a chair to maybe monitor this.
All right, man. Shit. I'm out here just making conversation. Oh, didn't you just figure it out right there? Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but you know we're gonna need more help, especially since we're past the hour mark right now, and we just started.
I mean, that's on you.
What do you mean? No, it's not. We have a limit to how many of these we can record, Carlos. Time is approaching.
Are you in the camel?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. This one.
That was that's literally the first search. It was like, we know you at the camel, dog.
Good work.
That's worrying. That's pretty worrying.
All right, head straight from the terminal where you start and destroy the Guardian Scout. Yep, you've done that. You did the treasure chest on a rope. Finding the map. You did that. About the Divine Beast. This, as it does with Divine Beast, allows you to control. Yep, there's one special thing about this map to note, though. There are also closed circuits, green lines, and open circuits, orange lines. These are your signposts, the things we'll use when we talk about rotating the map. Keep that in mind. 2 treasure chests. Are we doing treasure chests? No.
No.
Okay, Terminal 1. Here's how to find Terminal 1. Keep in mind that every step here is also pictured in the gallery above. Go to the map room. Move the cylinder closest to the map room so that the circuit is at the top. Move the middle cylinder so that the circuit is at the bottom. Paraglide from the map room ledge to the structure in the middle cylinder. Turn right. Walk up the stairs and outside. Turn right again.
Stop.
All right,
Link does not move that fast.
Let me know when you need it.
We'll go for now, but just I don't know. Just be ready.
All right.
Just be fucking ready. I did that wrong again.
But yeah, the internet, man.
I've been on vacation, and it's gone well, but also like I don't feel rested yet. And there's some stuff happening at work that I was meant to be a part of, but they delayed their timeline, and I'm like, I took this time off months ago. Like, sorry. So, but I'm like, I'm still like, I left my like work email on because I want to know if something like really hits the fan. But it just looked like a case of like anxious like kind of rest where I'm like, you know, I'm technically nobody cares if I'm there. Nobody wants me like to jump into this stuff, but I'm also like, what if something goes wrong? What if something happens though? You know what I mean?
Nah, I ain't got no job. I don't know what that means.
That's true. Did forget that. That's really on me.
No, but my friend, similar thing. She was about to take that. She was supposed to have all this week off, but because she got sick and was out for so long, I was just like, girl, if you take this vacation, you might not have that job when you get back from vacation.
Unfortunately, not wrong.
That is bullshit though. Like, it's not my fault I got sick, dog.
I mean, that's why there's sick time, and like,
yeah,
you just have to apply for like a leave of absence at most. Which is the thing that they warn us about. It's like, hey, if you take longer than a week, you better tell someone. It's like, okay. Yeah, that's pretty bare minimum. I think I can handle that.
I cannot wait to get a job and then take time off.
It's just a rest from all that, well, I wouldn't call it hard work, but a rest from all that something you're doing.
That's the worst part about it, though, is like, I feel like Julian's just like, oh yeah, Carlos, you gotta get back on your work round. But I'm like, after being free for so long, going back,
you can't call it free. You know you can't call it free.
I've been free. I'm a free man.
You know you can't say it that way.
My dad was. Oh yeah, also, because the job that I applied for is like a leadership and development job, and Juliana decided to go on this ramp. Like, Carlos, what do you want to do with your career? And I'm like, I don't want a career. I want a job that pays me, that I'm good at, and I don't want to think of like that I can realistically keep making more money as I do better at it. And she's just like, no, but you gotta like, and I'm like, no, I don't have any dream.
I am not here I'm not here to get a better job and to work more. I'm here to live. Work is to pay for my life. Like,
exactly. She literally was just like, don't you want to like be passionate about some shit? I'm like, I tried that passion shit. Look where it got me.
I mean, not for nothing, yeah.
It's just like I get it. I understand people who are like, oh, you should be passionate about your job. And to a certain point, I'm like, that doesn't work for me, because if I start to hate a job, which typically happens to most jobs, I'll then start even hating myself. Like, what does it say about me that I like this shit? Because I'm like, I love soccer because it's not work. If I made soccer into work, then I'm like, that wouldn't be as fun anymore. Because now I'd be like, I'm just doing the shit that I got to do to get paid, and now there's gonna be a little bit of stress at the back of my mind, you know?
Hey, can we shut the fuck up right now? Did you realize what you were doing? Can you shut the fuck up? How about that?
I gotta spice you up in this bit.
Nah. You fucking pot stirring piece of shit.
What are you gonna do? Fire me?
They have to pay you first.
This is true.
What Carlos is alluding to, whether he's intending to do it, whether this is where he was intending to go from the start or not, is that hey, wouldn't it be a shitty thing to do to, if you really liked video games, and you to maybe make an entire side job while playing video games and meeting schedules and quotas and stuff like that, and then trying to do something fun, and then it doesn't work, so you have to go back. You're like, do I go back to the schedules and the quota? Has this become a second job for me? I don't know. I don't know why he would say something like that. I don't know. I don't know what would possess him to think about it.
It came from in college. I worked with a guy, huge Jets fan, huge NFL Jets fan. Was like, oh my god, got a job with the Jets, and then did not realize in his mind. And he told me, he was just like, I love the Jets so much, but now in my mind it's like Sunday game time. Instead of getting up for of like, yo, it's time to watch the Jets play, he's like, I gotta be at work, dog. And now he's like, now it's not as fun. Now it's when they win, he's just like, yeah, it's great. I'm so happy my team won, but also I'm like, shit, I gotta make sure all this work gets done. And now, but again, I think it's very different in terms of like, that's why I'm always worried about like getting into soccer or some shit. It was like, it would be stressful to me of like, I can't really relish a win because now I'm like, gotta make sure all this shit get taken care of. But yeah, she home now, so I can't be talking too much. Can't get talking too reckless on here.
No, but you were perfectly fine with doing it before.
That's different.
Can you tell me how to get the one at the tip of its head?
Yeah, let me see.
Just for simplicity's sake, over here. Feel like I don't know what this is moving.
I want to try this shit.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you got it?
No, that's moving on its own. Yeah, I don't know what this is doing. I don't know what I'm accomplishing here.
The neck will rise. And you'll have access to an elevator to get up and step off to interact.
So basically just don't do anything with it yet?
Yeah, it says push the align all three closed circuits so they're at the top, which will cause one end of Von Norbis inside to rotate, just like with Terminal 2. Get in either hole, ride it to the top, and exit out the back. Push the rotating device several times in one direction and note which gear on the side moves. When an electrode arrives at the top, it'll turn blue. Now push the device in the opposite direction until the other electrode turns blue too. Divine Beast will rise its neck.
What? Oh, I think I see. Hold on.
Yeah.
I think I got it.
Oh, there it is. Now push it the other way.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm not even done because I overshot it. God forbid it just stops when, you know, we get there. Whoa.
Halfway there.
Whoa.
It's so weird to me that Bill Belichick is a big Bon Jovi fan.
Wait a minute, Bill Belichick has any interest outside of the Red Sox.
Being the Patriots?
Right. Yeah, sure. Guys, I know my Boston sports. It's fine. If Amy heard that, she would be so upset with me.
I love that you do not care about Boston sports, but you did have a job for a period of time where people just want to talk to you about Boston sports.
Oh my god. It was my personal hell. I didn't, so it's going to sound like I was a bartender or something. Close. When I worked the overnight job, I worked across the street from a sports bar. So guess who our main clientele was? I'll give you one guess. And during that time, anytime that there was like a major game, like playoffs or anything like that, like even just like a big game, like, oh man, did you see that? And I'd be like, no, I was watching a rerun of Seinfeld on the TV here. And they were like, you should really put on the game. I'm like, why? Don't you want to watch it? No. But like, and people would be so confused, as if like that had never been an option. It's been like, wait a minute, you could just not watch these games? I was like, yeah, man, I do it all the time.
I will say the only time I've ever felt like you was one.
What do you mean like you?
In terms of like not caring about a sport, but people asking me about that shit, and I was just like, dog, why the fuck would I care? Was the Cubs were about to break like their 100-year streak of like never,
I remember
and I was tweeting about Luke Cage, and people were tweeting at me like, "Carlos, why aren't you watching this? Like, it's a big sport moment." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck about baseball."
For some fun notes, my girlfriend has season tickets to the Red Sox.
I love that she's got season tickets.
It is yeah, it's something. It's great for her and her parents and everyone who enjoys it. It's fantastic, and I love her and want nothing more than their happiness. But no, just one of my favorite things is the loaded butts. Like, it's just like you say this really, really nice thing, and then you go, but.
The Skip Bayless butt.
Yeah. I get that now because of today's Twitter thing.
Oh my god, that is one of my.
But yeah, it's difficult not being a baseball fan when your girlfriend is very much a baseball fan, and her entire family and everyone she's ever known.
I think also you have a fun, more difficult challenge than Juliana dealing with my soccer addiction. Is baseball is an evening engagement or afternoon engagement, where soccer is like, if she sleeps until noon, she don't have to hear about no soccer most of the time. Like, soccer has been taken care of.
Are you actively causing your fiance to sleep in to avoid having to talk to you about soccer?
No, she just likes to sleep in.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, we talk shit about you.
What are you talking about?
Talking
Hi,
about
Juliana.
he says hi.
Hi.
Talking about you sleeping in so that way you don't have to watch soccer with me in the morning.
Yes.
Great, like, if it's a big game, I'll convince her to go to the bar with me to watch the game. But it's like, again, like, every time I'm like, oh, maybe I should like get into basketball, and then I'm like, no, because she did not sign up for that. I got one sport. Ain't nobody trying to deal with someone who's addicted to basketball and baseball are crazy to me, because like, baseball's 162 games, dog. Basketball's 82.
I know.
That's a lot.
I
That's
know,
a big,
Carlos. I know. This is not news to me.
that's a lot.
Sure.
And like,
is.
I'm already on thin ice, because I am the type of guy who, when we go out to brunch and City play a big game, I will put the game on my phone.
You've talked about this multiple times.
Yeah, I watch soccer no matter the context. If my team is playing, my team is playing. I don't give a fuck where I'm at. But like, I see, like, her brother loves the Yankees, and he be watching them games too, and she be giving him shit about watching the Yankees. But I'm like, no, I get the addiction. I get the like, oh, yo, my team is playing. Let me see this shit. But also, I'm like, dog, you got 162 games. There's no way in God's green earth you not gonna have something going on that you can't watch that game.
I don't know how to get rid of these masses.
Yeah. Wait. Go right.
I mean, right.
Because I was gonna say maybe there's another platform on the side there that you can. But no.
If only someone had the answers.
Oh my god, man! It's like I'm playing this game.
It's like I've asked you to do one thing in 22 videos.
I'm watching it.
Sorry, I'm interrupting your stories.
It's actually not even saying that, like, how to get through here on this guy. This is a bad guide. It's a bad guide, man.
The unfortunate reality is that a video guide would probably be helpful here. Like, again, this is fine because you can kind of explore on your own, but, you know, I'm not doing that. I'm recording a video.
It's fine. Juliana just started cooking, so.
No, I mean specifically for like the audience. I'm not
yeah.
saying like these puzzles are badly designed or anything, because they're not. I like the 3D interface with it, and like, you know, kind of moving it, doing the different things that way. However,
it's just not that fun to watch someone not know how to solve a puzzle.
especially for an extended length of time.
It's like watching someone not solve a Rubik's Cube. You're just like, all right, I could have done that myself.
Can you solve a Rubik's Cube? I've never actually tried one.
No, I've never solved one. That was
Oh,
Jeremy's
so
thing.
you can't do it on your own. That's what you're telling
No,
me.
I looked it up on a walkthrough one time. I was like, oh,
You
that's
looked
how
up
you
a
do it.
Rubik's Cube in a walkthrough? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What? You went to Game Facts for a fucking Rubik's Cube?
Man, I was on that primal walkthrough.
It's very confusing. That feels illegal.
I did one time when I was working at the college. There were kids that they had coming in the summer who like we had to get housing for, and they were like, we do the Rubik's Cube really quick, and like this is just like our fun little retreat. And I'm just like, y'all just hang out and do the Rubik's Cube? And like, yeah, we can do it in 30 seconds. And I'm like, all right, that's a fun party trick.
Sounds like a 30-second activity.
Yeah, I'm like, so after that, like, and it's like, no, but like, it's all about the math of doing the Rubik's Cube. And I'm like, is there lore here that I should be aware of? Like,
or one of you like, which of you is the DM?
yeah, like, I was just like, is there one? They're like, oh, this kid does it the fastest. I'm like, all right, but what does that make the rest of y'all?
Right? Because doing it the fastest is already barely, barely anything.
It's like, cool, this is a party trick, but it's kind of like, it is the equivalent of like dudes who are really into pickup artist shit, and I'm like, do you really want to hang out with them? Isn't the purpose to not be around a bunch of people who can also do the same shit?
It's yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, but if you
I don't know either of these two, by the way.
If you can do the Rubik's Cube, no shame to y'all. Okay.
A little bit of shame. No, that's fine.
Nah.
It's my thing with the Rubik's Cube is that it's not an extended activity. Like you're not like, yeah, we're gonna all solve Rubik's Cubes later. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's too much of a solo thing, and then like you got to be good at it to do it fast. And then I'm like, at that point, like, why don't you get a job?
Just get a job. Jesus. I have a question about us in particular. What? Do you think we're at the point where, what was I gonna say? Do you think we're at the point where even jocks play video games and play like a good amount of video games, like not just like Madden? Like, do you think the kids in school, the kids today, do you think there's a jock who's like, yeah, and the Final Fantasy 16's coming out. What's up, nerd? Pushes someone's fucking books down.
No.
I don't think we're quite there yet. But do you think, like, you can be a jock and still be like, yeah, I play, like 2 video games a month?
Yeah. But I do think there is a difference with, or at least maybe this is just me being aware, oddly enough. I feel like there is the bit of the generational gap in terms of, and again, my only thing is like I've got cousins, but it seems like my cousins and like Juliana's younger cousins who do game and do play sports and stuff, they just have no interest in like single player games in that regard.
Oh no, this is a real thing. I think there was a study recently that said that millennials play more video games than Gen Z, which by the way is not surprising for a couple main reasons. One is that all of the games that we're playing are based on IP that already exists and that we have nostalgia for. That's why when I see like the new Mario Bros movie, I'm like, is this to get more kids to play Mario? But like, because like I get it if that's the goal, but is the movie gonna accomplish that? Because then they get there and it's a 3D fucking platformer. Like,
I just thing I don't get, because like what you said about the jock thing is like I have a friend who's someone who I'd be like, you are not a gamer, but they were gonna play every like AAA release because they're just like, I think those games are really cool, and I'm like, I get that.
We talked about this before, where they were like, they're like big on The Last of Us and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's just like I understand why they like those games, and again, you know me, casual gamer, not a big deal. But I don't see my cousins making that leap to the point where I was just like, I was showing them like, oh, look at all, like they got a PS5. I'm like, oh, you're gonna get Spider-Man? They're just like, why the hell am I gonna get Spider-Man, dog?
And you're like, what?
And I was like, what are you doing? And then like they came over to my house for Christmas, and they were going through my console, like, and they were like, Carlos, where's 2K and Madden? And I'm like, I don't play those games. I got all these cool story games and shooter games though that you can check out. And they're just like, I don't want that. Where's Madden? Now I buy 2K like every couple of years just because like.
Okay, so I let this go on for a while, but I do really have to point out, I literally said out loud, I don't know what to do for the last two.
I've been reading the walkthrough. I have no idea what the fuck you're supposed to do. Right
I couldn't tell if you were just like straight up just ignoring it. I'm like,
nah, I have no idea. I've been scrolling through this guy. I've opened up 2 guys. I have no idea where we at. I am completely lost.
I think they're tied together. I just don't know what to do. I haven't really done anything with them down.
It's just like, yeah, they're not. These aren't walkthroughs where you can just read it out to someone.
No, and I understand that. It's also a case of like the puzzles are engineered in a way where it's not really an easy like, oh, just do this solution.
Yeah. I remember like the first time I got stuck on one, I was like, oh, let me just look up a guide to do it, and I was just like, oh wait, my orientation of where you are in relation is completely different. And then you gotta start from like the beginning of where shit was, and then you're just like, okay. I got a 10-minute speedrun walkthrough though that I can send you.
Hence my my confusion, because I have no way of knowing where the fuck to go. Because like the one bad thing about this is that there's not really a good indicator of where you've already been.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy's also doing it in like ×3 speed, and I'm like, shout out to you though. At least you understand. Like, ain't no one here trying to really see you figure it out.
I just don't know. They're both up top. Like, I remember doing this before. I remember doing this this puzzle, and I like remember parts of it. But it's been like years since I've last done this. I can't remember the finer details. But you're gonna have to plow through and find out, Carlos.
Yeah, I'm out here just about to send you the link and say, hey,
just watch it real quick.
Yeah. Oh, and let me know what you didn't get. Because also, it's harder for me on the other end to be like, I don't remember if you got this one yet. Because every time I click over to see, you're in a different part. I'm like, wait, did he get that?
The two I have left are not moving on the map.
Of course, some asshole didn't out here, guy's car alarm going off.
I don't hear it, so it's fine.
When was the last time someone heard their car alarm going off and was like, that shit gets stolen?
just leaving it, just like, yeah, it's not worth it.
That shit got took.
I wonder if I have to go along the top. I went that
yeah.
way.
Yeah, you gotta go along the top. Damn, this dude even died in the video, so it's like, he's not even about it like that.
He's making it clear this is not a guide.
This is just literally a guy just like, I'm just gonna edit it through so I do it in one piece. Which apparently is having a good week from all the tweets I see people tweet about.
Yeah, I don't really understand, because I guess their spoilers are out for it, but the chapter shouldn't be translated until either later tonight or tomorrow. But we'll see. So the way, do you know how this works, by the way? The manga scene. Do you know the timelines of it?
No. There was like a time jump.
It may be I mean real time, like human time.
Oh, no.
It may be interesting to you. So, Shonen Jump comes out. I think in the U.S. I think it comes out on Sundays now. And it comes out, I want to say, like on Friday or Saturday in Japan. But this is how crazy it is. So, you know, you'll get the magazines in advance. Like, you'll get them like a couple days before supposed to go live, so that you can sell them, right? Like, they're not dropping it off like a fucking newspaper, thankfully. But so there are some people who have connections to people who own the stores that they drop this off, where they'll give them a copy. They'll then take that, upload it, and then you get the raws. You get like the spoilers, so to speak, where it's like nothing's translated, but you can see the pictures and get the gist. And then it'll be fan translated, like maybe like 2 days after that, and they'll release it on their own. And then the official translation will come out like 3 or 4 days later, to see how close they got. But that's how rabid the One Piece fandom is that they can't even wait those 4 days for it to, like, they have to. There's different levels. There's, hey, I'm gonna look at these images the second they're posted without context, or there's, I am going to wait until the fan translation. That's what I do. Get most of it, and then I'll check the official translation later, a couple days later. That's how badly they're waiting for these chapters.
Y'all need jobs.
I mean, it changes week to week, right? Like, for the most part, I'm pretty good about diligently reading it, because that's just who I am, right? Like, I just keep up with that stuff. But you know, there are people who will, like, you won't read it for a couple weeks, and they'll or there are people who only, like Mark, only reads the official translation because he can't be fucked. Because he can't be fucked to go find the website.
No, because he has an actual job, a job.
Okay, Do you work? Sorry, never mind. This is an insensitive question.
Yeah. That's man fucked up. Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you work 24 hours a day at your job? Because I get off at the end of the job or at the end of the day, and then I have free time, and that's when I fucking read it. It's a 5-minute read. What do you mean? Get a job. Okay. So you have no proposed solution to not knowing where this is, do you?
Oh, I'm literally watching this video, Nick. Oh, I'm not entirely sure. That's the right way. Okay, you gotta make the neck go up, and
I'm gonna find out at the end of this video that Carlos never had a guide up, and he's
I'll
just
share my
sort of
screen right now. I'll share my screen right the fuck now.
He was pretending to give advice the whole time.
Look
what about
that.
the neck? What about the neck? I can't see it because I'm recording.
Yeah, my screen. I'm now sharing screen, bitch.
I'm a little busy.
Oh yeah. Look,
what about the neck, Carlos? Just fucking tell me.
If you gotta ride that neck up.
Okay.
Oh wait, did I do it the right way? Am I telling you the right way? It's on the other end of that. You gotta go up the butt. Oh yeah, there's the fucking. Nah, was that the right spot? Fuck. Sorry, I'm like my. Where is he? Sorry, 1 second. I'm like, I'm really sorry. I'm really trying my best here. I think he's on the ass of the camel.
This is why you don't have a job. You're not a team player.
No, yeah, he's on the ass of the camel. He's on the ass of the camel. And then you gotta shoot the thing, and then it'll... Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Okay. I think I can make that work. Maybe. I kind of thought that might be where I have to go next.
You gotta get on the top side of it, and then you should be able to get...
Stop. Just stop.
You gotta top it.
I know where I need to go. It's getting there. That's the difficult part. Are you gonna keep playing Elden Ring?
Yeah.
Just dejected, like, yeah.
I can't let them bitches talk shit about me. I can't let the haters win.
I thought I went this way already.
Yeah, you did, but I don't think you did. I don't think you finished it off.
Oh yeah. What about the butt?
You have to get on that little platform on it, and then from there, you can shoot the eye and then go through. Because I don't think you. I don't remember if you went up.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully, I think that can lead me to the rest of the way. A long ass video. I hope it doesn't corrupt.
Yeah, there we go. Carlos did something right.
Proud of you.
Yeah, look at me out here, fucking saving the day, dog.
Okay, but why is the fucking eye closed?
Open your fucking eye, you old bitch. Lock on.
What is locking on gonna help when it's not open, Carlos?
When it opened, you were just like you were still fucking just throwing shots away.
Oh, does this bother you, Carlos? Is this bothering you? Is this bothering you right now? Is this upsetting you?
Lock on set.
Why won't he lock on? Why won't he lock on? Oh my god.
I hate you. I hope this video corrupts now. Then you gonna learn to play with me.
You're saying that the video corrupts when I don't play along with you?
Yeah.
God, can you imagine? Just so rare that I get to frustrate you. I'm so used to the other way around. Ah, okay. Okay. Alright. I can perhaps see. What do you have for dinner tonight?
I think she's making chicken and some shit.
Or some shit. As if chicken would be fantastic? What do you mean?
It's like, I forget if it's with string beans. I really fucking hate string beans.
Just not eat the string beans.
Well, I'm just gonna eat a chicken?
Yes.
Alright, you're a little bitch. I'm not talking to you. You're not a rational individual.
What do you mean?
The hell, I'm just gonna leave all the vegetables? I just wish there were better vegetables.
I didn't say all the vegetables. I assume there were more than just string beans.
Nah, it's really just the string beans.
Then it has something other than just string beans.
Alright.
You're acting like I'm the problem here. What do you mean? Like,
you are the problem.
I just think that you're a little bit racist. That's all. Do you acknowledge this? I just think it's weird that you hate me because I'm white. That's all.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's not a reason to hate something.
I mean, that's fair.
I also need a job, so I can't go on the record with that.
On the record. Wow,
Yeah.
look at you.
I'm an ally to white people. Not like that.
Ally to white people.
Not like in an Uncle Tom way, but like.
Oh, God. Okay, we gotta stop. It's too much. Who do you think is going to enjoy this video?
Nobody.
Yeah, that is the non-zero chance.
It's gonna get picked up on some weird forum.
God, I hope not. Actually, that'd be fun. I'll take the views.
Well, we gotta pivot this into like an interracial friendship. Cause have you ever seen there's like full YouTube channels about interracial? And I'm like, I tell Juliana every once in a while, I'm like, yo, maybe we just need to hit that glass box and just like, hey, this is what we are now. Carlos couldn't get a job, so now we're turning influencer.
I think you could be an influencer, but I think you have too much.
To do worse.
I think you have too much soul.
I'm just like, I can't do that fake shit.
That's what I mean. You could. I don't think you could. You could reasonably fake it long enough.
Like, imagine some product that I don't really like tries to get me to. I'm kind of amazed that they didn't fucking jack your. I'm so used to playing like Elden Ring that now I don't hedge bets on shit no more.
Whereas that's all I do is hedge bets. Just my entire playstyle.
Nah, the worst shit that happened was I killed the boss, but his final swing still hit me.
You did tell me about that, yeah.
And
I just think that's really funny.
I was just like, oh, you bitch. And then I had to walk my ass all the way back there just to get the runes that that were awarded to me after I died.
That's pretty delicious. Do I have a thunder weapon? Yes. Will this work? Can I be clever here? Is the game dissuading cleverness? The game is dissuading cleverness.
Because I'm on the internet and since I had to look up that walkthrough, have you followed any of the shit that's going on with Senator Feinstein?
A little bit. Not a lot. I've heard the name and I heard a brief synopsis, which is basically that they're... What are they doing?
This shit's evil as fuck. If what's going on is true.
It seems like she's just she's doing the same thing that Cinema and whatever the other fuck's name were doing, which is just disguised as a Democrat. It's like, hey, I'm just gonna play Republican just to be the one person to block it.
No, it's worse than that.
Uh-oh. What is it?
So you know how like Bruce Willis was suffering from dementia and shit, and like his agent was just signing him up to be in movies, but he couldn't like. It's pretty much like that. The chief of staff of Feinstein and the staffers in general, like she's not showing up to Senate hearings and shit anymore because she hasn't been well for some time. And apparently she doesn't have a strong memory, so people are kind of just using her as a puppet for their own political ends. But now that since she can't show up for like anything, the staff refuse to allow her to resign from her position because then they're like, oh well, then we'll all have to find new jobs.
Jesus Christ! I did hear a little bit about this. Now the context helps.
But it's fucking up Biden's plans for like getting judges approved because there's enough Republicans to not do anything, and her vote is the one that like makes it automatic. But because her staffers don't want a new job, they're pretty much just saying like, oh no, she's fine. We haven't seen her, like, you haven't seen her in a couple weeks, and we're not going to put her on a video camera, but she's fine. Don't worry about her.
Isn't McConnell in the same situation right now?
Well, no, McConnell came back.
Oh, he did come back. Fuck.
Yeah, because he's evil incarnate and knew, like, that motherfucker knew what it was.
He went and feasted on a soul.
Yeah.
And came back.
He's all fucked up and shit, but he's just like, no, I know what time it is. If I go now, they're going to get someone in there that's not going to do what I need them to do. So he's like, nah. This is my last chance to fuck over the future. Where Feinstein is just like, no, she's being like, at a certain point, I'm like, any political like disagreement I have with this person, even when she was perfectly fine, understandable. But now I'm like, what you're doing is really evil and fucked up. Like this person needs to retire.
Well, this is what I mean. Where it's like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have an entire government run by senior citizens, and by people who've been in fucking terms for, I don't know, decades. Like this, it's specifically to avoid shit like this, because she wouldn't have been reelected like this. Like,
well, she did run for reelection and won. She's had documented issues with her memory for a while now, but because
it's just crazy that can happen in the government.
The old guard doesn't want to deal at all with the what the fuck is going on. She's just gonna keep that job. And I'm also like, what?
It's just insane.
There's also just a sad part of like what about her family? Don't her family want to spend her final years with them, and not at Washington? Just I don't know. It's just doing bad shit to old people really pisses me off, because I'm always just like, they have limited time and you're just robbing them of the ability to just enjoy that time with the people that they love the most, allegedly. I don't know. She might have beef with her kids. Her kids might be the ones setting this all up because it's like, we don't want to deal with her. But yeah, it's fucking evil,
fuck.
Yeah, he whooped that ass.
Alright. That's okay, because I got the fucking... Hold on. Oh my god, please.
You got the
I'm
magic.
begging you. I have a Master Sword. Where are they at? How do I slow them down?
You don't.
They have a shield too. Oh, what the fuck? What in the cheating hell is this?
Do you need me to read the guide?
No. Oh, will this work, I wonder?
You okay?
Oh, fucking prick!
Damn, you can't mollywop.
Alright. Alright, okay. Listen. Let's all be friends. I think I gotta break that shield.
Yeah, I think that's... I wonder if, I don't know, I've never been in a fight to the death. What's it like, though, to be getting your ass whooped and you know, this is it? Do you just kind of resign yourself to it, or is it a point of nah, man, I really gotta figure something out here?
Nah, you gotta McConnell that shit. Even if you're going down, you can take as many people with you as possible. Think back to the Game of Thrones fight. The, Oberyn versus,
Oh, God. It's funny, in my mind, Game of Thrones and The Wire are so intertwined. And so I'm watching this shit, I'm like, man, I should run back Game of Thrones. But I'm like, I'm already still, I've hit that point in How I Met Your Mother where the quality just fucking, literally, as I said, season 4, that show just takes a nosedive, and now I'm no longer watching it. But I'm like, maybe I could try that shit again with Game of Thrones. Maybe there is something there.
I remember having to lift these, I don't remember why. I distinctly remember this being...
Lightning.
What?
Lightning will strike him if you put it near him when that shit's going off.
I can't put it near him because he's up there.
That's what it says in the walkthrough.
But also, I like that. I was like, yeah, I'm not sure what to do. And you went, lightning. I'm like, yeah, Carlos, that's been the fucking theme. I knew lightning. Thank you.
I try to help. Just say you don't like white people. It makes this friendship a lot easier. Juliana gets so mad at me when I say that shit. She's like, ha, so funny. Get a new joke. And I'm like, god damn. It's really getting hateful up in here.
You're like, god damn. She really doesn't like black people. just repeating it.
Like, god, it's tough being black, actually. She says there was something that I got her dead to rights. I think she was being annoyed about, she was retouching, so she was editing the photo, and she's like,
I know what retouching is, thank you.
Well, for our audience.
Oh, so you don't like it when I respond to something that you say that's aimed at the audience? Interesting. Okay, thank you. That's good. That's a good note.
I hate you. And she was just like, oh, these blacks aren't coming out right. And I was like, what's that supposed to mean?
Okay, listen. Most of the time what you say, it's harmless, and you pick up on it, and that one is a little bit.
No. She's retouching jewelry, and that shit is so funny because she's getting so furious because like she's got the lighting is one difficult, and then she has to use so many different images, and the person who's uploading all the images is not naming the save files correctly.
Oh my god, it's the bane of my existence.
So she's just getting more and more furious, and like she's like, "Did no one want to clean the fucking jewelry today?" Everyone's just like, "Oh, let's touch that shit. And just take a photo."
I get it though.
And it's the funniest when it's like jewelry is the hardest when it's the simplest because then she doesn't know like where to get started. And she had a wedding band that like for 2 days I was looking at her work on it and I was like, ain't shit changed. That looks the same as you started.
She's like, get a job. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. She's like, shouldn't you be paying attention to something else?
You wouldn't let us down, Link. Thanks to your valor and skill, my soul is free.
Shout out to her. Her soul's finally free.
Once again. Which means that
Shout out to when Nintendo randomly is like, let's make a strong female character.
And let's kill her.
For plot development. Oh, do you do you want to talk about what we were talking about right before this video started 2 hours ago?
What, the Dragon Ball Z ESPN?
No, the Danganronpa guy.
Oh my, nah, that you.
So, God, it's gonna be so hard. Like, I almost, if I was a better YouTuber,
We should just drop.
I would
the
ask
video.
Carlos for the link, and
I'll send it.
and you guys could do it. But I was like,
Oh fuck. Okay.
but it's it's just a case of like this person who clearly has money somehow has decked out everything they own with images of Sadako, I think her name was, from Danganronpa 1. And just like literally everything, like wall to wall, just like literally millions of images of this character. Carlos sent that to me and I watched it and I was like, yeah, it's insane. I was like, do you want to know another thing about do you want to know another thing about this that makes this even better? And you were like, of course. Is that the character he's obsessed with is in the Danganronpa series on screen for maybe 30 minutes out of like 80 to 100 hours between like 4 games in an anime series. Barely in the series. And this dude is like, I'm going to dedicate my entire life to this person. And I was like, that's why they keep repeating the same like 5 images, because there aren't that many of her out there. Like,
it is the most commitment I've seen to it. Like when he out in the video, which I sent Nick the link so he can embed it.
I won't.
He literally goes like, "Oh yeah, she's the cover of all my games." And then I looked at that shit. I'm like, "Then what do you know what you're playing?" But then I'm like, "How many games you got physically?" And then when he got to the guns bit, I was like, "Okay, all right, this is a bit. This is."
If it's a bit, it's too far. It's like there's a point where dedication to a bit, even if it's ironic, becomes more insane than the bit itself.
Yeah, it also becomes a thing where like you gotta introduce people to your friend, like, oh, he's doing this bit, and then it's just like, if that bit doesn't gel with them, it's like, oh, your friend is really odd.
I'm gonna live with you, Carlos. I don't know that he had any friends.
He definitely.
I think you need friends because you need someone. You need a Carlos to be like, what are you doing? In the early stages.
Yeah, someone should talk them out of that. Because also I'm just like, what is the goal here? Because after you've made this video, I don't think there's a lot of juice to that bit.
Also, what would I have to do for you to be like, hey, what are you doing?
You got an anime pillow? I'm like, all right, wrap it up.
I think, well, of course,
I would do an
intervention.
intervention.
Carlos, it'd be wrapped up because you have to protect it. But
I would do an intervention. I would call mad people, everyone. I'd call the principal of the high school we went to. I'd get her out of retirement. Like, you need to step in. He needs someone in this house.
I don't know that she's still alive, dude.
I think she's alive.
We could get the new principal of our middle school instead, who was also our English teacher.
Oh, that's even better.
Oh my God, no! If I had to have a talk with Mr. Beatty, I would. God. That would work. That would work. I would, because he'd be like, Nicholas, and I'd be like, I'll stop. I'm sorry. Like, just the guilt that man could instill.
And that
Not even his most popular trait. The guilt that he could instill.
Not. He was the first teacher that was like, he was like, I'm really not here for your nonsense.
But not in like a
once we've
not in like a
established
you kids quit screwing around way. No, because that is not the
No.
picture I want to paint here.
Ganon occupied until
And-
the last unleash ours.
My favorite was there was a kid who would act up in
It's
class,
going to be so
and instead of like punishing Mr. B, would just go, "Oh, Jacob," and then like the laughing would stop, and he'd just sort of be like, and nobody else is laughing anymore because it's turned into like pity,
Yeah, especially when
and it worked.
he'd say some shit that like everyone was just like, damn man, he got you. He got you, and if you try to come back on some shit, you know you're wilding out. You know you gotta go
Well,
to the principal's
so
office.
that's not the only thing too. Is like he was pretty good at comebacks. Like,
Yeah,
he was a
used to
smart
fucking-
dude.
He
He
used to
could.
give Alex the dagger.
and spirits
I think I was in Alex's English class.
No, because I was with him and Aaron. Someone's
Oh,
fucking
God.
admin fucked up and put us all, the three of us together. It was freshman year too. He was our first class. I was like, why would they put a poor soul in this?
Oh, good. I still can't go in because I look like a man. We're about to wrap this up,
Alright.
but then we only have one more left.
Yeah, English teachers are hilarious, man.
English teachers are great. I think it depends on which teacher if you're someone who's like, I hated every single teacher I ever met. I don't know, man. The odds aren't. Like, let me put it this way: the odds that you hated every single teacher, that might be a you thing. I'll say it. I'm not saying it's impossible. No. I'm not saying it's
Okay.
impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible. I think we had a pretty good school district,
Yeah.
so, and I have to take that into account. But not even one.
We also went
Not-
to public school.
We did go to
Those
public
people,
school.
those people were doing it to save souls.
Yeah,
Juliana
those
went to
people did
Catholic
not do it
school.
for the money.
Juliana went to Catholic school, and the story she tells me, I'm just like, no, I'm good on all of that. As well as she's like, oh my god, her stories of high school are hilarious in the sense of the way she makes high school sound like is she was just like for 8 hours a day I would just doodle in class. I'm like, she's the idea in my head of like, when I think of work, I'm like, yeah, I'm there for 8 hours a day. I'm gonna do my work at one point, but I'm goofing off most of the time.
You can't
She
do
was-
that in school.
What? Goof off all the time?
No, yeah, like it's not viable.
Like, to get an F in school, I'm like, dog, you literally weren't showing up, and if you were showing up and you were getting an F, what were you doing?
So I'm gonna tell you something real quick. Very small misconception that some have. It's not about getting an F, right? You're right. Getting an F is difficult. I don't know how some people did it unless they literally did no work, or the teacher hated them. That's not other question.
But if the teacher hated you, I gotta hear both sides.
Yeah, because you might have had bad vibes.
Yeah.
But as an adult, I need to hear both sides. But no, what's more dangerous than that? Getting C's and then trying to go to college on
Now-
C's.
No, but C's makes sense in the way of like,
Doing just enough to get by.
not only just enough to get by, but you were a presence in the classroom, and you were doing the stuff in the classroom. In my mind, if you got a C, it was like you weren't doing homework. Homework was not happening. So as soon as you
You,
left that school,
You nailed that a little more than I would have liked. But yes,
that's literally because I remember,
I had a lot of fun conversations with teachers that were like, "Yeah, Nick, your home life is it's pretty tough." I'm like, "Yeah, stop giving me homework where I can't do it." And they were like, "That wouldn't be fair to the other kids, would it?" I'm like, "No, it's not really fair to me right now, is it?"
but
They were
also
like, and they were like 1.9 GPA, and I was like, "I don't feel like you guys really understood my problems."
I only made it through math class because I always had homework to turn in. So that's how that worked, where I'm like, I remember in college, the rough wake-up call of like, yo, dog, there's no homework grade. You are going to have to figure out this material and get that shit done.
So ironically, that I had the opposite effect, where I struggled in high school because there was a lot of homework that I was not able to get done. And then I went to college, and suddenly it was like, yeah, you just need to know the material. It's like, oh, yeah, I can do that. That's not a problem. And suddenly I was doing really well in college. Like I graduated what's the third one? Not magna, not sum.
I should know. I did work at schools,
You
but
should
yeah.
know. But yeah, I was like the good student. Not honors, but like equivalent of honors basically.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy. Because I would not have guessed that as a child would be in the cards.
Oh, no, we're almost done.
Yeah, we are almost. I think the fairy fountain is over here somewhere, and just for like completion's sake, I want to find it.
No worries. The producer's trying to get me off.
I heard. What? Don't you have dinner?
Yeah, Juliana's trying to. My dinner's ready, so she's trying to watch Jeopardy.
Oh, I thought you said she was trying to get you off.
Whoa.
You said it.
All right, I didn't mean it like that. I meant it in like a good Christian way.
What's a good Christian way of getting off? Because I've heard stories, and I don't think it's a good way.
I
I don't
hate
think it
you.
is what you think it is.
But not, yeah, like high school is funny in the sense of, like, granted, one time again I got a D- in the course on a progress report because I literally went out of my way not to do homework because I was a senior and I was like, what's the worst that could happen? And then the teacher was like, Carson, you got to do your homework. I can't pass you unless you do your homework. And so like literally the night before report cards are due, I'm like banging out all this homework that I didn't do. I get it in and I fucking pass. But it was just like, yeah, but also I'm like, it's kind of fucked up to penalize kids so much for homework where I'm like,
I agree.
you don't know what the hell's going on there.
I also kind of think that homework is kind of a crutch for teaching. Like, I get that there's certainly some amount of homework that makes sense. There's lessons that they can't really take outside of the school, but it also seems like I need to get a certain amount of work done in a year that is not possible during just classes. So I'm going to make them take it home with no regard for, like, it's the lack of coordination with other subjects that drives me crazy.
Oh yeah, we had a perfect storm of two papers and like it got math test and it's all due on Monday and you're like, all
and
right,
it's the
so
fact
what are
that
we
like
doing here?
that nobody there is like, hey, maybe we should like coordinate to not do this.
Oh no, I remember one time there was a perfect storm of like English and history both had me doing big papers and I was just like, wait. So and it was April too, so it was starting to get nice outside. So I was like, "Oh, cool! It's time to go play soccer and shit." I'm like, "Y'all about to have me in here writing 2 10-page papers? I don't get paid for this. I don't need to do this." Nah, but I did that.
College makes more sense because it's like an expectation. Like, yeah, this can happen.
Yeah. Oh no! Wanna know what pisses me off? This is like #1 pet peeve where I think you should fail students for this, and I know it's crazy nuclear hot. Kids who don't show up the day paper is due or the day a test is due. I think you should get automatically deducted like 2 letter grades off of that shit. Don't be a little bitch.
Now,
Unless you have a doctor's note.
does it need to be a doctor's note or can it be like an email ahead and be like, hey, something came up, I can't make it, and like attach the paper like to that email?
Now you got to get a parent in there. I need a legal guardian.
No.
Yeah, I'm being ridiculous. I don't give a fuck.
That is
No,
ridiculous.
'cause
Absolutely not.
As you know, I lived in a prison.
You
growing
did go
up.
to prison, yes.
I remember, like, my sister, when, she'd get in these perfect storm things. My dad was like, you are going to school tomorrow. She's like, wait, but, like, I got all this stuff. He's like, I don't care. Like, get it done. And so she would have to wake up. She'd write until, like, 1, take, like, a 2-hour nap, and then get up at, like, 4 a.m. and bang the rest of that paper out before school. And then, like, she'd miss homeroom just working on that paper in the high school library. And I'm like, I feel like you should get some grit points. There should be extra points. If you are the child of immigrants, like, I understand that people are like, oh, well, you should have planned better. But also, I'm just like, you could suck a dick.
Yeah, have you considered that?
But, like, I'm talking about, like, if we knew, dog, you not showing up because of this paper and shit, you at least got to apologize to the class. You got to stand up in front of the class and be like, all right, y'all, I did not show up yesterday because I didn't do this shit. My bad. And then the whole class gets to decide. We get a vote. We get a democratic vote if we get to forgive you. That's all I'm saying.
I think you might
There
be a
should be-
crazy person.
I am. We know this. I think, yeah, that's what we should do with grades. We should allow your peers to vote on that shit.
I
Make it a popularity
strongly
contest.
disagree.
What could go wrong?
Everything.
High schoolers. Famous Famous for being reasonable.
He hit me so hard and landed me next to an explosive.
That could have been so bad. But
This
yeah.
is interesting.
No, tell me the flaws of my idea.
Carlos, I don't know if this is going to surprise you. I'm a little busy.
Yeah.
I don't have time to refute your argument at the moment.
For the commenters, if you've gotten to this part of the video
Or
please,
the series.
Yeah. I don't think I've said anything redonkulous.
I like how you're like, Nick, refute this. I'm like, what do you mean?
I think you good. I think you got time. You gotta switch to something quick. Be alive.
Fun fact, there are 4 of these in this desert. And they respawn on blood moons. Isn't that a fun fact?
That's annoying.
And they have their own, like, shit. Like, their own, like, monster parts. And they have chests.
But yeah, we should allow. We should. I do. That was one annoying thing in grad school was like people would, like when you did a presentation, the class would also get a say in your grade, and I'm like, I don't like y'all, Nick. I do not. And then being able to also see like, oh, I can tell you don't like me, so that's why you did not like my presentation.
Wait, what class did you have where they let the students decide?
So many fucking classes in grad school. It's a popularity contest.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's like it's not like 50% of your grade, but it was like just enough for that presentation where if people did, and most of the time, it wasn't a big enough issue of like you did poorly enough that like everyone was like we nuking your shit. Most of the time, everyone was like we were shooting the fair one. But every once in a while, you get that one asshole stickler in the class who's like, I really think you could have gotten the most out of your 20-minute presentation. I'm like, I think you could have really gotten some fucking friends today. That's why you're always asking to do grad school happy hours.
That sounded really targeted and specific.
Nah. It was. I was famous in grad school for not wanting to hang out with everyone from grad school.
I do remember this being a thing, actually. Like,
To the
there
point-
is some legitimacy to this, where Carlos would frequently say, like, yeah, they want me to do this. And I'm like, I am not here to make friends.
Yeah.
I am here to get this and get the fuck out.
Which is hilarious because when I worked at NYU, they were all in grad school with me, and they were all trying to convince themselves once I got hired, like we're all friends here. And I'm like, we are not friends. I don't hang out with y'all. There's a reason why you never see me at things. And it's like, Carlos, it's so cool that like you're here now, and like our relationship can continue to be close. And I'm like, I don't think you know I have a dog.
And you're like, get away from it.
It's just like they always wanted most of the issue was also most of them had come to New York for grad school, and they were like, cool, I need friends, so I'm going to make friends in this program. And I was just like, I have friends. I don't really like y'all, and I don't think you're that intelligent for me to, like, the funniest part is I did make friends with like a couple of them because I was like, oh, you're smart, you're talented. And the ones that I really vibed with the most were the other ones who were like, we are not going to go to happy hour or do any other shit. And it was all the black ones. And we were all like, yeah, we are not trying to hang out with some nonsense here. But, yeah. But, like, grad school's crazy for that. It is a popularity contest, depending on your degree.
Ruta, Rudania, Meadow, Naboris. All of the divine beasts are now free. With the strength you have attained, I am certain you can unlock the powerful force hidden within. Go to the Shrine of Resurrection.
Oh, it's this thing.
To its terminal.
Yeah, that's not part of the story. That's an extra challenge that we will not be doing. I don't know if you ever tried that one. It's the one hit challenge where your weapon kills every enemy instantly, but you also have 1 HP.
I had no idea that I would never do that challenge.
It's all based on the Great Plateau too.
I'm against challenge in video games. Video games should be easy.
I think the way the white ones work is that they can randomly replace any of the normal bokoblins once you get past a certain point in the game, because it's supposed to be like basic enemies here.
Nick, in the interest of my stomach.
Yeah, we're wrapping up. That's why I came
All
here. Thank you guys for watching part 22. I think next part is the last part.
All right.
I think that's it. And then we'll, because obviously we'll kill Ganon first try. And we'll go from there. So thank you guys for watching. Tune in for the riveting finale coming soon.
All right.